Good morning from the lake. I'm at my uncle's trailer in Morden Meadows, and I thought I'd start a reading vlog because I read this before I jumped in and did my cold plunge this morning. It's about 7:45 and I just want to vlog, and so I'm doing a reading vlog, a reading at the lake vlog. I started this poetry collection right before I jumped into the water, and it's very fitting for the lake because all of these poems are about lake life, well, island life on Manitou Island in Ontario. This author now lives in Manitoba. But reading these poems is exactly what I'm looking for. She's writing poetry about her ancestors traveling to Canada, about lake life, about family. And it's just things I can connect to as a Canadian woman. And I'm so happy. This is what this channel is about, is finding literature that I can connect with. Fingers crossed we're gonna get a clip of me sitting there in that bench reading. That's a great reading spot. I hope I can come back either today or tomorrow and get some good reading done there. Life is so good out here at the lake. Coffee, books. So actually, before coming out, Charlie and I went to the library while we waited for Carlos to finish packing up the car and stuff. And I was just browsing around and looking for some new Canadian reads. And I picked up a few things. So I think for this reading vlog, it'd be fun to read the first chapter of each book and tell you about them, to see if you're interested in reading them, and to see if I want to keep them. Avina girl! What are you doing? A little head just poked up. See if I actually want to keep them or return them to the library. So I think I'll read the first chapter of each. We will talk about them, and yeah, good plan, I think. I plan on reading this. I don't know if I have a goal to finish it by tomorrow, but it's just a poetry book. It's only 107 pages, and I really like it. Oh my gosh, there's a wasp. Okay, it's gone. I'm really liking it. I never even told you the name of the poetry book or by who it's by. So it's Following Sea by Lauren Carter. And I'll read you the synopsis at the back real quick. Spanning almost 200 years, Following Sea finds anchor in the submerged regions of the heart. With great care, Lauren Carter wades into family histories and geography, all the while charting her own territories. There's a little bit more, but I don't need to read the whole thing. I picked it up on a whim at McNally a few days ago. I saw it. It was a good price, $17, and I read the first chapter, or the first poem, to see, like, should I give it a go? And I liked the first poem, so I picked it up, and I've read 25 pages now, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's a win so far. This vlog is going very well so far. I'm just gonna start from the top, pick up this one here first. Okay, so whoa. What happened in there, Athena? What is that, you guys? It's okay, you're not in trouble. What happened?
I got scared.
You got scared?
My tummy got scared.
Oh, your tummy got scared. Oh. Okay, so Cassie Yvonne Shake's debut story collection follows the journey of Charlotte Ferrier, a child of divorce, raised by a single mother in a small town in British Columbia after moving from South Africa. Mother and daughter wait out the end of a bad year in a Mexican hotel. A friendship is tested as forest fires demolish Charlotte's town. A childhood friend disappears while traveling through Europe. What the heck is going on in this story collection? And a girl on a beach examines the memories of dying jellyfish. Okay. Well, let's start with the first short story, I guess, and see how it is. I moved inside because it was raining, and I also started playing a game with Athena, and we're now having breakfast. I just have to say, the cover is beautiful. Like, look at that. I mean, of course the barcode is ruining it, but that sculpture and the black and the font, very, very nice. Let's dive in. Okay, so I read the first short story from We Have Never Lived on Earth, and it was good. I'm sure they're there. Look. Okay, I don't really know what to say about this. Like, I liked her writing. Not a lot happened. I'm curious, like, how is this a short story collection but it follows the same character, and then is it not a novel? Like, what's the difference between a short story collection that has the same character throughout the whole collection? Athena, estoy ocupada.
Mommy said that, Papa said that I didn't know where my sandals are.
Okay, well, we'll find them in a minute. Let me finish. So how is that different than a novel that follows the same character every chapter? I don't know. Anyway, I really feel like there's nothing for me to say about this book other than, like, it was good, I liked it, I want to keep reading, which is so lame, but that's all I can give you right now. I want to give an update on this poetry collection. I feel like this woman gets me. Like, I think we're similar in the sense that we're both really interested in history. We're fascinated by our ancestors and their migration to Canada, and part of us yearns for, like, the olden days, or part of us, like, thinks life was simpler or better back then, which, like, I know is not true. I know that, like, this is the best time to live, but I just feel like I imagine that, like me, she kind of romanticizes the past and thinks it was a simpler time, a better time, and she kind of likes to live in the past a little bit, which I feel that. So I'm so happy that I picked up this book. Now I'm gonna read the first chapter of this book, M, by Kim Thuy. Sorry, Kim. I think it's Thuy. I think she's Vietnamese Canadian. Let's read the little blurb inside. Where's a good angle for this? In the midst of war, an ordinary miracle, an abandoned baby tenderly cared for by a young boy living on the streets of Saigon, which is Vietnam. The boy is Louis, the child of a long-gone American soldier. Louis calls the baby M. Hong, M meaning little sister, or beloved. Even though her cradle is nothing more than a cardboard box, M. Hong's life holds every possibility. Through the linked destinies of a family of characters, M takes its inspiration from historical events, including Operation Baby Lift, which evacuated thousands of biracial orphans from Saigon in April 1975, and the remarkable growth of the nail salon industry dominated by Vietnamese expatriates all over the world. So Kim Thuy sifts through the layers of pain and trauma in stories we thought we knew, revealing transcendent moments of grace and the invincibility of the human spirit. Like, it sounds really, really good. And I think it came out in 2021, so it's new-ish. And let's see about Kim. What does it say about Kim? Born in Saigon in 1968, Kim left Vietnam with the boat people at the age of 10 and settled with her family in Quebec. Okay. A graduate in translation and law, she has worked as a seamstress, interpreter, lawyer, restaurant owner, media personality, and television host. She lives in Montreal and devotes herself to writing. She is gorgeous. Can you see that picture? How beautiful. Okay, I'm really excited for this one. It sounds like it's gonna be so good. All right, let's get started. Woo! I'm about to dive into M, and I realized that this was originally written in French and it's been translated. And I kind of want to read it in French now that I know it was written in French. So I may request the French copy from the library. Because I mean, it's usually better to read the book in its original language if you can, right? I don't know. Anyway, I'll read the first chapter and let you know how it is, but I think I will request the French version. Okay, I've read more than the first chapter because it was like 2.5 pages. I've read like, I don't know, maybe like 4 chapters. They're very short chapters. I read 13 pages. I'm gonna keep going with it. I actually found the audiobook and ebook, so I borrowed those from the library. There are going to be themes of like, oh my gosh, slavery, colonization, oh my gosh, racism, gender roles. So I think this is going to be like, it's a short read, but I think there's going to be a lot to cover in this short book. And I'm interested to see what she has to say. I love the cover. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh, there's a freaking fly. The writing is not like easy, straightforward reading. It is... okay, this is like how you can tell I'm like a newbie booktuber, because I don't know all of like the lingo for talking about writing, and its styles and themes and things like that. So the writing is, how do I say, like, I don't know how to say it in words, but like it's not easy, straightforward reading. Like, the cat walked down the road. It's like, on its 4 paws, it pranced along the gravel. Like, it's very like detailed, but using like big words, and the sentences are structured in ways that aren't obvious, and so like you have to read every word and be really present while reading the book. Oh gosh, I hope I get better at this as time goes on. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the next book and read the first chapter of that. Okay, book number 3 is called Witchmark by C.L. Polk. This is a series, a fantasy series. To be honest, when I was reading the synopsis, it didn't sound really interesting to me, but then I did see it was a series, and I'm always in the market for a good fantasy series. I've been disappointed in my 20s. If I were still in my 20s. During my 20s, I was trying to read a lot of fantasy to find the feeling I got, you know, while reading Harry Potter, while reading Twilight, those kinds of things. And then finally in my 30s, A Court of Thorns and Roses came out, and that really got me going. But I feel like, for me, a lot of fantasy is so cheesy. The main characters, which are usually women, are so unlikable. They are so bratty. Like, extremely bratty. So anyway, I am always in the market for a good fantasy, because when you get a good fantasy, like, it changes your life. So, Witchmark by C.L. Polk. Let's read you the summary. Ugh. A stunning, addictive fantasy that combines intrigue, magic, betrayal, and romance. In an original world reminiscent of Edwardian England in the shadow of a world war, cabals of noble families use their unique magical gifts to control the fates of nations, while one young man seeks only to live a life of his own. Magic marked Miles Singer for suffering the day he was born, doomed either to be enslaved to his family's interest or to be committed to a witch's asylum. He went to war to escape his destiny and came home a different man, but he couldn't leave his past behind. The war between Aeland and Lanier leaves men changed, strangers to their friends and families. But even after faking his own death and reinventing himself as a doctor at a cash-strapped veterans hospital, Miles can't hide who he truly is. This paperback is only $19, printed in the US. There's a Canadian sticker on the side, so it is a Canadian author. Let's see what we can find out about him. Oh, her! I am so sorry. It's a woman. C.L. Polk wrote her first story in grade school and still hasn't learned any better. After spending years in strange occupations and wandering Western Canada, she settled in southern Alberta with her rescue dog Otis. C.L. has had short stories published in Jim Baen's universe and contributes to the web serial Shadow Unit. So is this her debut? Okay. Well, actually, after reading that, and like there are lots of comments on the back, blurbs, I am kind of looking forward to it. So let's read the first chapter and see how it goes. Good morning. Between last night and this morning, I read the first chapter of this book. Call me intrigued. I want to keep reading it. Like, this is the book I'm choosing. I still have to read the first chapter of this book, and I actually read the first couple pages and I'm not interested at all. That's unfair. I didn't even read the full chapter. It's a long first chapter. It's just him talking about driving out to this new town he's moving out to and the car troubles he has, and I'm like, I don't care about your truck not going into reverse at all. This is Tom Wayman, The Road to Appledore, or How I Went Back to the Land Without Ever Having Lived There in the First Place. This came out in 2024, so it's new, last year. I didn't read this already out loud to you. No. For anyone dreaming of relocating to a place where houses are more affordable, the water and air are pristine, and scenic beauty greets you every place you go, Tom Wayman's The Road to Appledore is a rewarding read. The book follows Wayman as he moves from Vancouver to southeastern BC's Slocan Valley. Mishaps, misadventures, and moments of delight and wonder abound in Wayman's prose reflections on his decades of living immersed in nature and the contemporary rural. From having to deal with a bear cub in his kitchen to engaging in vigilante action to protect a community water system to the quiet satisfaction of growing his own food and flowers. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to read this. This is going back to the library. Maybe I should give it a full chance to read the full first chapter, but when you know, right? And I'm going to start reading this. I have high hopes. I have high expectations. Hopefully they're met. And then the other two Canadian ones, the collection of short stories from the South African Canadian writer, and M by Kim Thuy. That's a 3-hour audiobook, so I can devour that easily, today. So I'm going to continue with those. So 3 to 4, that's really good for just randomly picking things off the shelf at the library. So I will continue to vlog. I will continue this reading at the lake vlog until the end of today. And yeah, we'll see what kind of footage I grab. Is this not the best morning? Coffee, homemade sourdough blueberry scone, homemade ricotta cheese, and a new book. Okay, so I did switch gears this morning and decided to read this one because 1, it's very short, and 2, I actually, while I was washing the dishes after breakfast, I started listening to the audiobook and realized that no, this is a book you have to read, you cannot listen to it. The audiobook was not, this type of book, this style of writing is not made to listen to. So then I thought, okay, well, I may as well just read it and not get it out of the way, but read it now. It's only 150 pages, not even 148 pages, and I'm on page 66, so I can get it done quickly. I will say though that like I'm liking it, but where can I find a passage? Like, I just want to find an example of like how I was saying yesterday, this book isn't an easy read. Just like the way the sentences are constructed, it's just like you really have to focus. And that could be because it's translated from French. And the writing style, like, we are following characters, but it's very like, this is one chapter, look. Like one page, essentially. A page and a bit. And it's just very like, this happened, this person did this, with like this romantic writing style. And while I'm interested and I want to know what happens, and she still gets points across and there are still themes explored, it's not reading like a typical novel. Like, I'm not really getting to know the characters. I'm not really involved in a plot or a storyline. It's just like lives that are intertwined, or like more like one generation after the other. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. We'll see how far I get. Athena's just, oh, this is my reading vlog, not my family vlogs that I do for fun. So you don't need to know what Athena's doing, but if you care, she's watching TV. I wanted her to watch something while I put the baby to nap, and so I'm letting her finish, and then we're gonna play some board games. Charlie and I came to return our library books, but before I return this book, I actually want to read this part to, one, show the writing style, like how it was not an easy read, and two, how I was gypped. There was no ending to the book, and like she literally says there is no ending to this book. So she writes, if I knew how to end a conversation, if I could distinguish true truths, personal truths, from instinctive truths, I would have disentangled the threads for you before tying them up or arranging them so that the story of this book would be clear between us. But I have followed the advice of the painter Louis Boudreau, who advised me to play with the threads in the artwork he created for this book. And this image, this is like the original cover for the book. Da-da-da-da-da, blah-blah-blah-blah. Okay, so while I erased thousands of words and blocks and paragraphs and sentences so as not to underscore some, to highlight others too boldly, and in the end to betray the delicate balance that maintains us in love and in life. And then she goes on about what she would have liked to write about, or what the ending she would have liked to give us. And there are about 10 more pages left, and the book ends, like with no ending. Like, what? She gives us facts about Agent Orange and how that like gave people cancer. Okay. I'm sure there's like some really poetic and artsy praise to be given, but I read books for the stories, for the characters, their lives, to know what happens to them. I don't read a book to meet these people and then just have it abruptly end like that. Like, so I don't know. I think I'm giving this book a 3 out of 5, a 3.5 out of 5. I love that it was short. It was a short read. Oh man. I actually, I read a book last year and I meant to look it up, which one. I'm going to put a picture in. It was a book on the Vietnam War, but told from like a civilian's perspective. Loved it. Gave it 5 out of 5. So, so good. And I think I like any books or movies or TV shows that are in like World War II or the Vietnam War. So I like that oh gosh, what do you call that? Like the themes, but also the setting of war. Oh gosh, that sounds terrible. Anyway, I do have to say that I like that. So, and I really like at the end how she spoke about like Vietnam was just the stage where the Cold War was being played out, and it was the people of Vietnam that were the casualties, and the people of Vietnam kind of like picked up this conflict that wasn't really theirs, but it's become a part of them. And she spoke about at the end, I didn't know this, like Vietnamese people when they meet each other, or like when they used to meet each other, they would really distinguish if they were from the north or the south. And I just find that fascinating. And yeah, I'm really interested in reading more about the Vietnam War, but more from like the Vietnamese perspective. I'd be interested to go to Vietnam. And then she also at the end delved into a little bit how the Vietnamese women were like the catalyst, is that the right word? The catalyst for nail salons and manicures in North America. And I think that's really interesting. So okay, 3 to 5 for the book. And this is where the vlog ends. I will see you in the next one. Golly, 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 golly. Say bye. Ciao. Ciao, bye.